I'm trying to find the bridge.
Where's that confounded bridge?
I'm trying to find the bridge.
Where's that confounded bridge?
Hopefully we cut this out.
Where's that confounded
I remember
bridge?
to.
Welcome to Sound Lab Studios. Sound Lab.
To the point where I'm no fun anymore.
Wow, listen to the way the artist intended to. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. It is Sound Lab Studios, and we got the full crew on this one for our Led Zeppelin series. We're going to be going over Led Zeppelin's 5th studio album today, Houses of the Holy. Oh, it's blurry. Tyler, it's blurry.
Yeah, it's real blurry.
Oh, guys,
I think it's trying to censor it.
That's actually a good idea then.
I thought we were reviewing.
I hit the blur the background option so I can blur my background.
Okay, so
yeah, it's probably a good idea to blur the background.
There's naked babies on the front.
Yeah, I was confused about the album cover. Why are there naked children on the album? That's a little weird.
Okay, so we'll get to that in the background information, but it's based off some kind of science fiction novel, apparently.
Well, then you open the gatefold and it's even weirder to me. But
yeah, it's like a guy holding up.
Is he sacrificing somebody? I don't know.
It's like what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on here?
I have no idea.
Do I need to call
So
Child Protective
small.
Services here?
Anyways,
I thought we were reviewing A Day at the Races.
Twice in a
I
row.
thought we were reviewing Aftermath.
oh, okay then. Well, track 1, Paint It Black. No, so okay.
Sorry, Mother Down.
A day at the races by Point. Now, getting back on track. Led Zeppelin released their 4th album, huge commercial success. Lots of songs that are still played on the radio this day, sometimes too many times. But now we get to this point in the band's discography, and now we are going through the background information.
Background information.
Oh, Ryer, did you have any background information on this? Or?
I have quite a little bits today. So,
All right, Professor Breyer.
you
Hey, it's
know
Breyer. How's it going?
Neil Peart, who? We got the professor in the house.
Only can play drums. But anyhow, on a lighter note. So I think we kind of briefly mentioned it already, but by this point, Led Zeppelin were pretty much on top of the world. Led Zeppelin 4, big commercial success, touring nonstop, going around the world. And of course, with all this success, of course, there's a lot of excess. And of course, there's a lot more drugs, there's more alcohol, partying. There's even a story of John Bonham crashing a hotel with a motorcycle. And so, yeah, that was a whole thing. But regardless, despite all that, they decided they're finally ready to record a new album. And by this point, they still were using the Rolling Stones mobile studio, but around this time, Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones have also started making their own home studios. And so they started experimenting with that. And with that, they started to really branch out into more territories, like even more than before. And you can hear on this album, there's a ton of variety on here from different influences, which we'll get into. And yeah, of course, they recorded it, they released it. Funny enough, it actually got mixed reviews originally. Got some positive stuff, but there was some negative stuff too. However, commercially, still did insanely well. Went to #1 in both the US and the UK. Went 11 times platinum in the US. Of course, there you go. Exactly. And a little other tidbit is that this was the last album they would record under their label Atlantic Records before they would move to their own label, which was Swan Song Records, which we'll probably get into once we get to the next album. But that's some little backstory on the album. In terms of the cover, I didn't do that much research into it, but I do know that the place they got the shot is actually a real place.
Mhm.
Like you can actually go to these rocks. The only thing that was edited was the sky. It wasn't that orange when they took the photo. But other than that,
I
still
did do some research on the cover. So it's based
Alright,
off of a
cool.
science fiction novel. It's kind of like a Children of the Corn thing where the kids are evil
Yeah.
and are like attacking people. It was designed by Hypnosis, who is the same team that did Dark Side of the Moon, same year too. There are two people at Hypnosis, which is funny because one of them is only credited because the other one was the one who originally was tasked with doing the art. He heard the album, didn't like it, and sent them a picture of a tennis court. And the Robert Plant was like, "Why is there a tennis court for our album cover?" And he said, "Because this album is nothing but a bunch of racket." And so he was promptly fired, and the other person at Hypnosis came up with this idea.
Oh man.
That's why it took him like a year, I think.
That's why it took him a year.
Oh, really?
That was delayed because some wisecracker over at Hypnosis was making jabs at the album with sending him a picture of a tennis court.
It was originally going to be released 72.
Yep, it was recorded on that time as well.
Yeah, when did this album come out? 74?
1973.
73.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it like Ireland or something? Am I crazy or?
Yeah, I think it was in Ireland. That's the
That's
other
what I'm
thing is
thinking.
they couldn't get enough pictures because it was raining at the time they were doing the photo shoots.
How
Oh, man.
fitting.
Wet rocks, that would suck.
It's like, Timmy, you
There's-
couldn't have written
yeah.
a song called the Sun Song?
We couldn't gotten Hot Rocks instead.
Or yeah.
Okay, so that is the background information. This album is, just before we start, I just want to say this album is like a complete 180 from Led Zeppelin 4. This is not Led Zeppelin 5. This is
No Led Zeppelin 5.
very little blues influence in this album. All kinds of what other influences, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But this album is pretty much everything in the kitchen sink.
It's a crazy album.
Is.
Yeah.
So, before we begin, does anybody have just like any quick words that they would like to say about the album before we start?
This album. Oh, sorry.
Okay. I just wanted to say I admire the experimentation on this album. There's a lot of cool, diverse influences that I hadn't seen from any of the previous Zeppelin albums. So it was cool they were doing something different. I do think it's a step down from Led Zeppelin 4 personally. I like some of the other albums above Houses of the Holy, but I still think there's some really good songs on here, and I can't wait to highlight the best of them.
My opinion on it, I think this is way, way better than the fourth album.
You don't say.
A lot more experimentation, a lot more music to it. It's to me, it's not just your typical rock and roll album. It's just to me, it's a massive improvement. This would be my favorite album by them, but there's a particular album we're reviewing next time, and well, we'll find out. And I think this is a very close second, though. There's some amazing songs on it. There's a lot of second wasted on it. I could see where Jacob is coming from, but to me, this is a huge step up.
Yeah, I really enjoy this album. Again, like I feel like it's a big step up musically from the more blues rock oriented albums that they did before, and it's close competition for me with this one and Zeppelin 3 and Zeppelin 4. More so probably Zeppelin 3, although Zeppelin 4 is also a masterpiece. But I just feel like House of the Holy is just a little bit cooler than the other four.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yep.
So we are going to get the ball rolling with track 1. The song remains the same.
Yeah, this is Really solid way to start the album. To me, it feels like the warm up session. Some great guitar riffs, some good percussion on it. It feels like a song to get the audience hyped for what the album is going to be like. I do think this is one of the weaker songs on the album. I will say I listened to this album 3 times, and I feel like with this song I needed to hear subtitles because without hearing subtitles, I cannot understand the word Robert Plant is saying on this song.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of ignorance or anything, but I really
Oh no,
struggled with the rest.
there's a reason studio trickery with some of the stuff. I'll explain that when I get to it.
Okay, but I still think it's an enjoyable song. I think the production on this song saves the song from being an otherwise mediocre filler track.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of the same way as Jacob on it. Uh, it's an okay song. I think there's some good guitar parts here. It seems like it's more of an instrumental with a little bit of singing, so it's not heavy on the singing on this one, which is I thought was odd to start the album with this song.
I know why.
To me, it's like we talked about great. All up to this point, it's like every album we're like, man, this is a great opener, and he has some iconic openers up to this point, and this is definitely like the most disappointing opener that we've gotten so far on Led Zeppelin. It's a fine song. It's not one I'd go back to ever, to be honest. But there's so many great songs on here anyway. So, yeah.
Okay. So it's my turn. Okay, I'm gonna give some information about this song real quick to kind of fill in what you guys were saying. So, first off, this song actually was an instrumental at first. Robert Plant and the other guys got into an argument. Robert Plant left for a few days, and then a few days shows up later at the studio, and like he goes into the recording booth, and their engineer Eddie Kramer is playing around with something. He plays the song remains the same instrumentals that the other guys have recorded, and he's like, "Oh, what's this? This is interesting." And he's Eddie Kramer says to him, "Oh yeah, this is something they've come up with called the overture." And so he's like, "Oh, I like this. Let me see if I can write down some lyrics to it." And then Jimmy Page, John Bonham, John Paul Jones, they come in and like, "What are you doing back here?" He apologizes. They make up and everything. And Eddie Kramer kind of laughs and is like, "The other guys made an instrumental while you guys were gone." And Robert Plant's like, "What?" And he starts talking about how he wants to change the song. And Jimmy Page says to him, "No, Robert, the song remains the same." And Robert Plant says, "Oh, well, if that's so, then I've got a lovely set of lyrics for you." And he writes down the lyrics to the song remains the same.
That's actually pretty funny.
But the reason why Robert Plant sounds unintelligible and high pitched is that the intense touring from Led Zeppelin 1 through 4, 69, 70, 71, 72, they've done 4 years of touring, and Robert Plant, the way he sings, really just shreds his vocal cords. So he had developed some polyps on his vocal cords. He would get a vocal surgery shortly after this album came out, but he was realizing that he couldn't quite hit the same high notes that he could, and so he decided that he was gonna have them play back the music they recorded at a lower pitch, and then he would sing, and then they'd speed it up, and it would sound higher, and that's what they did, which is why he sounds a lot higher. They do it with this one, and they do it with the Ocean as well, which is interesting because if you watch them live in Madison Square Garden in 1973, it's the same key, and he's hitting the notes perfectly. So that's kind of interesting that he sped it up. But
speaking of Madison Square Garden, let's go Rangers.
Anyway, I think this song is amazing. This is one of the songs that made me check this album out because on the 50th anniversary of this album on the radio, they played 3 songs from it, and this was one of them that I'd never heard it before. I thought it was really cool. I love the guitar, like the layering of guitars, like Jimmy Page would call it his guitar army. I think that's really cool. Yeah, it's kind of weird that Robert Plant's voice is sped up, but I think it's cool because it's like I like all the studio stuff that they're doing on this album. There's a lot more studio involvement than on the first 4 albums. The first 4 albums, it's like we're gonna play it live in the studio. This and Physical Graffiti are where they start saying like, you know what, we're gonna try doing some studio tricks here. I think it's really good. I think it's a really good song. Really great way to open the album.
I will say now, before you go to the next person, the more you brought this information out, I feel like this song probably would have worked better as an instrumental, but that's just my personal opinion.
Okay.
Hmm. All right. So for me, in terms of my thoughts on this song, I'm actually with Scott. I actually really enjoy this opening song. I think it's a really good opening track. It's always one of the songs I actually play pretty frequently, and it's really because of the musicality of this track, I think. And Scott brought it up again. There's all these layers of guitars. You have both 6 string and you got 12 string also, and just creates this very bright, very good tone to it, which is I think is very great. And of course, Bonham's drumming again, like his drumming. I mean, throughout the whole career, his drumming has always been top notch, and this is another great example of it. Just a good
Yes,
groove to
yes.
it. And of course, and also I'm really paying attention to Jones's bass. Of course, his bass is very great. It has a good tone to it as well. Um, and I actually, and yeah, I will agree. I don't really understand what Robert's singing about half the time. I mean, that's really my thoughts of him in general, but that's besides the point. I think it kind of fits the tone it's going for. It has this very driving, very almost frantic sound to it, which I always dug. And I really like the guitar solo, of course. And yeah, overall, I think it's a very good opening track, and it's actually one of my favorites on the album. I see Nick per rating.
All right. I do like this song. I like the song remains the same. Um, yeah, it's very hard to understand Robert Plant, but I have a very handy dandy lyric sheet. Oh, you can't.
Yeah, it helps.
There you
Yeah.
go.
My album comes with the lyric sheet, the original inner sleeve, and it has all the lyrics, so I always know what's being sung. But even
That's good.
without
I don't
it,
think my CD has it.
yeah,
I don't
you
think
need
mine
it.
has.
Some albums I have, you really need that lyric sheet because you're like, what's he saying? Same here, with Led Zeppelin, because sometimes Robert Plant, he sounds really nice, but you're like, I don't really know what he's saying. uh, yeah, I think it's a pretty solid song and a pretty good opening track. However, compared to the 4 previous opening tracks, this one is found wanting
Oh.
compared to Black Dog, compared to
Immigrant
Immigrant
song.
Song, Whole Lot of Love, and Good
Whole Lot
Times,
of-
Bad Times.
Yeah.
I still kind of like Black Dog a little bit more as an
Okay.
opener, but I still really like Houses of the Holy.
See, I would put Song Remains the Same above Whole Lot of Love and Black Dog, but not above like Good Times, Bad Times, or Immigrant Song.
Yeah. If I had to rank the album
Mm.
openers real quick, it would be The Immigrant Song as my favorite, then A Lot of Love, Black Dog, Good Times, Bad Times, and then Song Remains the Same.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Tyler, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No.
All right.
My turn. I think this
Yeah.
I strongly disagree with you, Jacob and Jason. This song rocks. This is way
Yes.
better.
Yes.
Black Dog sucks compared to this song.
Oh no.
Black
No,
Dog,
it doesn't
Wow.
suck, but I just
Black
like
Dog
this
is
No,
a
better.
mediocre
no,
song
no.
that's stole from a well, and this song is way better. This song has a lot more uniqueness to it. I love the sped up vocals. I will agree with everyone here. It's not audible. I don't understand jack crud of what he's saying. But it's just an amazing song. It's one of the best songs on the album. Well, it's not on my to prove how great this album is. This is like towards the bottom of my list, and I think the song's epic. I guess if I had to rank all the openers, number 5 would be Black Dog. 4 would be Whole Lot of Love. Number 3 would be Good Times, Bad Times. 2 would be this song, and my favorite. I agree with Jacob. It's Immigrant Song.
Can we at least be in a whole agreement that the Immigrant Song is their best opener so far?
I agree.
Yes.
A whole lot of
Yeah.
love for me, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would say Whole Lot of Love, but that middle section could be hit or miss. Depending
Yeah.
have to be in the section, but yeah, I strongly disagree with you guys. This is one of their best openers.
Hmm.
Now that I think about
we
it, I
love
probably
you.
would. The song
I
makes it
never.
seem a little bit
I'm
higher
gonna
than
be
Black
honest. I
Dog,
never got why Black Dog became a hit. To me, it's one of their most overrated
even
songs.
though I really like Black Dog.
It might be their most overrated song.
I love Black Dog.
Okay.
Tyler, I think something's going up with your. I think something's going up with your audio.
Your audio, yeah.
Who?
Very choppy.
Me?
Yeah.
I can understand you better than Robert Plant on The Song Remains the Same, but
Yeah.
It's starting to sound
Is it
like
me?
Roy Harper.
Mike?
Oh no. Or Roy Crappy.
Good, we got that in.
Is it me, guys? Am I
Oh,
am I
there we
cutting
go.
out?
There we
Oh,
go.
okay.
It's working now.
It's better
working.
now.
That song is not garbage.
I think
Hmm?
I don't know what's going on with my sound.
Sadly, there's no ballads, which Briar happens to be a sucker for.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
speaking of ballads, track 2, The Rain Song.
The Rain Song. I like this one. I think it's better than the last song on the album. I wouldn't say it's a top tier Zeppelin track. I think it's trying way too hard to be the next Stairway to Heaven. I feel like
Oh,
it's like very
Interesting.
extended track with a lot of instrumentals, and the lyrics are kind of nonsensical. But there's still some cool stuff instrument wise. I actually learned some information that I didn't know about. I didn't know there was an instrument called a mellotron until listening to this album, because when I first listened to this album, there was this really cool section that sounded like an orchestra was playing, and then Scott was telling me, "Yeah, that's not an orchestra." I'm like, "What? That's not an orchestra?" I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
that's a mellotron." I'm like, "What the heck is a mellotron?" Some kind of this synthesized keyboard thing that you can play like
It's
different sounds on it. And John
higher.
Paul Jones did that entire part, and I'm like, "This is amazing! This is the highlight on the whole album, the instrumental of the mellotron." And I see why some of you guys are saying John Paul Jones is the secret sauce, because he made this song awesome.
yes.
Mhm.
I think like it's not a top tier Zeppelin song. I do think it's better than Song Remains the Same, but I do think there's better songs on this album. But still pretty cool production wise.
Yeah, I'm kind of right with you there, Jacob. This song really grew on me as more times I've listened to it, more I'm like, man, this is a cool song. This is another song that I don't usually listen to that much, just because it feels like another instrumental, like not a lot of singing, just a lot of instruments. And so I usually don't listen to those songs as much as the ones that have a lot of more singing in it. But I have to say, like, I love the guitar playing. I love it's really pretty. Like, I'm like, wow, like Led Zeppelin, known for like these really hard hitting songs, or like they can write a pretty song. This has like orchestra music behind it. It has piano. I'm like, man, or I say orchestra, mellotron, whatever. It sounds like an orchestra around it. Like, man, it's like really cool. Like, I love all the surroundings of the song. I love the dun 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 dun. Like, it's really pretty, just strumming of the guitar. And then there's this like really cool sound, like it's like this, almost like they hit a note and they turned it, and then and it like went down, and it's like such a cool like sound effect that really I think it highlights the song. And so yeah, overall I really like the song. Definitely one, yeah, hidden gems I think here.
Okay. This is a top tier Zeppelin song for me.
Is this your favorite song?
It used to be my favorite Led Zeppelin song. It was replaced again with Stairway to Heaven whenever I heard it again.
Keeps going back and forth.
Yeah, I was in the camp of Stairway to Heaven is overplayed there for a bit, and then I went through a very long spell that I hadn't heard it, listened to it again for the 4 review, and was like, oh yeah, no, I was wrong. But this is my second favorite Led Zeppelin song.
Wow.
I have loved this song since the first time I heard it. I remember listening to the Houses of the Holy album. I heard The Song Remains the Same, and then I pushed pause because like I was driving somewhere. I went and got some Panda Express or something. Hopped back in the car, hit play on the Rain song, and then was greeted with that beautiful acoustic guitar strum at the beginning. And it's in a really weird guitar tuning too. Lots of layered guitar parts, acoustic and electric. This song is actually a challenge from George Harrison, if you can believe it or not. George Harrison was hanging out with John Bonham one day, and John Bonham was like, "So what do you think of Led Zeppelin?" And George Harrison said, "Well, I think Led Zeppelin is really good, but there's one problem. You guys just don't have a really good ballad," which he must not have heard "Thank You."
No.
But John Bonham was like, "Oh, you," and John Bonham's known for having kind of a pride like that, because there's another story where he was ranked in a magazine as a lower, like they ranked like the best drummers of all time, and Karen Carpenter was ranked higher than him. He was also at it. He's like, "I'll show you, Karen Carpenter."
I'll show you, Karen Carpenter.
But he went back and was like, "Hey guys, George Harrison says we don't have a ballad," and Jimmy Page must have been like, "Oh really? Well, let's write one then." And so they came up with the Rain song, and oh my goodness, I love this song. But my favorite part about this song is what Jacob mentioned. It's that mellotron. Oh my goodness, John Paul Jones on this song. Oh, he does two amazing things. One is the mellotron, making it sound like a full orchestra is playing, even though it's just a keyboard. But two, the acoustic bass. He's playing an upright bass on this song, which really just adds to the atmosphere of it. I love how it starts with just the guitars, and then the mellotron will come in. My favorite part is that instrumental section whenever John Paul Jones first comes in. It's like boom, 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 and then it hits that really like amazing chord, and then it just goes right back into boom. And then Jason mentioned earlier the part that goes like boom, boom, no, 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 no. That part is amazing. John Bonham doesn't come in for a while actually, but once he comes in, oh boy, it's like, and then they get into that boom, 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 and gets into the more rocking section. Then it goes back into the boom. I think it's funny that Jacob said that it sounds like they're trying to make the next Stairway to Heaven, because they were trying to make the next Stairway to Heaven. Robert Plant was sick of playing Stairway to Heaven over and over and over and over and over again, especially since he pretty much just wrote the lyrics to that song in 5 minutes and was like, "Why is this the song that everybody likes?" And so he's like, "Well, let's." When they were making the ballad, Robert Plant was like, "Let's make this one really good, and maybe this will be our new signature song." But this is my favorite song on the album. I love this song.
It's a ballad, so that tells you. But yeah, it's another song.
Do you like ballads, Briar?
Maybe you can say so. I'm a little bit. You can say I'm a little bit of a fan of ballads. But yeah, this is another standout song to me. Again, just a really great composition. The acoustic guitars sound really beautiful here. And again, we talked about the mellotron a lot already. Yeah, it sounds amazing. Like, there's two things I'm a sucker for. Well, there's many things I'm a sucker for, but one of them ballads, the other one mellotron. So I've always liked the sound of a good mellotron. And I love, you can even hear the piano, like the piano itself as well, just adding more layers to it, which sounds really pretty. And just again, the first half just has this cool, very chill, very calming mood to it. It almost sounds like it is raining outside. And funny enough, it was actually raining earlier today when we were recording this. So yeah, I actually put it on, and I was like, yeah, this is nice. I was on a bus, but so it didn't really fit the mood, but you know, if you close your eyes, it's perfect for that setting. But yeah, I enjoy this one a lot. Again, before I go, like, again, the drumming, once Bonham really does come in, again, just adds a whole other dynamic to it. But yeah, it's a very great song. This is another one of my favorites on here.
I'm just imagining Briar looks outside of the weather and then picks an album that fits that weather. All right, snowing. We're gonna put that's not snowing in California, so never mind about that. But
oh yeah, I do that.
It's a hot day. I'm putting the Beach Boys.
Yeah, well, I can't do that, but yeah. There we go. Yeah, that's totally me.
All right. Well, compare this to Stairway to Heaven. Stairway to Heaven is a lot more. Jimmy Page is a lot more out in front on that
Mhm.
song, the guitar, and then John Paul Jones is probably second in line. I would say with maybe third once I don't know. But in this one it feels like Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones are going back and forth on this album. I mean on this song. Where you have his guitar and then you have the mellotron and the piano and the bass. It just feels like John Paul Jones is trying to I don't know, V for more control on this song or something. I don't know. But this is the John Paul Jones song to me as much as Stairway is a Jimmy Page centric song. It's kind of like John Paul Jones' Stairway to Heaven or something like that. I really like this song. Again, Mellotron is fantastic. Bonham, when he finally comes in, amazing. This is a really good song. I love the Rain song. This song.
I love this song. Sorry, Jacob, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I strongly disagree with you again. I think this is a top tier Led Zeppelin song.
Yes, it is.
It is top tier. The Mellotron is so unique.
Top shelf stuff.
Yes. I think this is better than Stairway, in my opinion, but I know that's where all the disagreements are gonna come on now.
Sacrilege! Oh no!
It's pretty close.
Yes, it's very close.
I do prefer it over Stairway. Well, probably
Understandable.
I will blame radio for most of why I think that, but
Blame it on the radio. It's okay.
even without it being overplayed, I think this song's just a little bit more unique, just for the Mellotron alone.
Oh yeah.
You know, just tricking my brain into thinking there's a full orchestra going on, even though it's just one. So
It's just one dude.
I'm just gonna make it go over Stairway just by that, just for that alone. Like excusing the whole radio thing, but yeah, this is yet another masterpiece. But yeah, disagree. This is a top tier Zeppelin song.
Okay, so that was track number the second. Now we're gonna get into our third song. Ooh, Over the Hills and Far Away.
All right. Now, this is the song I'm the most familiar with because I've heard it on the radio before. I think this might have been the big hit off the album.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this is the first great song on the album. Especially listening to this song in context to this album and hearing the previous Zeppelin albums. This song feels like a really cool mix between the hard rock that made something like Whole Lot of Love such a great song, mixed with the folksy sounds that made Led Zeppelin 3 such a great album. So think of this song as a weird mix between Gallows Pole and Whole Lot of Love. Interesting little combination there. I like the acoustic at the beginning. I love how it transitions into the electric. And then you get John Bonham's drumming in there. And then Robert Plant just belts it like he always does. It's a great driving song. You can drive, sing along, try to imitate Robert Plant. I can't do it right now because I'm dealing with a cold right now, but this is a really awesome song, and I think it's one of the best on the album.
Yeah, I'm total agreement with Jacob. So far, these first three songs, I feel like me and Jacob are agreeing the most, and everybody else is disagreeing with us. Probably not in this song, but at least so far, it's like, man, it's me and Jacob versus everybody.
If anybody doesn't like this song, what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. But this is top tier Led Zeppelin for sure. As we use that word. I love the song because it starts off with that great acoustic guitar. I love the acoustic guitar beginning with just him and like Robert Plant, and it's like, oh, this is another ballad. It's funny, up to this point, it's like we haven't had a really good rock song into this album yet. It's been a little more softer, and you get to this song, you're like, oh, another okay ballad. Like, this is cool. This sounds good, you know. And then all of a sudden they get to that, you know, it's too much. It's too much. Ba-dum, ba-dum. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute, this isn't a ballad, this is a rock song. Like,
Yes.
I feel like Led Zeppelin keeps doing this to me. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then all of a sudden, oh, wait a minute, they tricked me. Like, like, it's not a ballad, it's a rock song now. And it's like, okay, I'm in for both. Like, I love the dynamics there. And I don't think anybody does it better than Led Zeppelin. I can't think of another band that hits you with the acoustic guitar song and then hits you with this amazing rock song. And then Robert Plant's voice just goes up, many times we done, many times we bum 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 bum. And you're like, wow, the Robert Plant's voice is amazing. He's kicking the high gear. The drums are kicking it in, the guitar. And it's like, man, I love it. It's one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs.
Yeah, this song is, as you guys mentioned before, top tier Led Zeppelin. I think this is one that we're all going to agree on. I know we were a little divisive on some of the other songs, but
Yes.
we all can agree on this one. I'm fairly sure. This song is amazing. I love the acoustic guitar at the beginning. It's in a really weird, odd time signature, and it comes in. And it starts out there's just one, but then there's another, like I think a 12 string comes in later on, and then we get that singing. This song sounds like a folk song to start out. It sounds like something straight out of Lord of the Rings or something, which I think if I'm not mistaken, the lyrics were based on a song from Lord of the Rings. I might be wrong though. But you get that, hey lady, you got the love I need, and then it just keeps building. And if you've heard the song, you know what's coming.
Yeah, you know what's coming.
And you're in anticipation whenever it gets to the you're like, come on, where is it?
Come on,
and then
let's go.
It's like,
Oh,
yes. And then it picks it up. Many times I listen, many times I've been out on the open road. My terrible Robert Plant impression. And then we get the second riff, and you get the acoustic. It goes to the chords, and then my favorite line, I don't even remember what it is, but or should I say where it comes in the song right off the top of my head, but it's when he sings like, I've got a pocket full of gold. I don't know why, but for me that just perfectly encapsulates it just perfectly encapsulates the folk songy nature of this song. And then that guitar solo comes in. I don't know how he did it, but it sounds like he's playing a violin or something. I don't know what he did to get his guitar to sound like a violin, but like it sounds like he's playing a violin along with this folk song, and it's just amazing. And now this is where a lot of people get critical of Jimmy Page, is whenever they do it live, because he doesn't play it exactly like he does on the record live. He likes to make something up live so that he does something different every time. And I will say, whenever he plays this song live, it can get a little bit sloppy, but I'm not going to say he's a bad guitar player because he's just trying to come up with something off the top of his head. But for me, he's not going to be able to top the studio recording because it sounds like he's playing a violin or something.
Do you think he's a better studio musician than a live musician?
I think he's good both ways.
Okay.
It's just his playing in the studio and his playing live are very different. In the studio, he's very technical. He'll do several takes until he gets the guitar solo to sound just right. But then live, he's more spontaneous. They tend to extend their songs longer.
Yeah, they're very spontaneous, aren't they?
A song that's like 3 minutes in the studio will be like 15 minutes live sometimes, just because they get a good jam. Like Dazed and Confused goes from like 5 minutes to 25 minutes when they did it live. Well, because we got that violin bow solo thing in the middle. But I will say, man, I do kind of prefer the studio sound. A lot of people will probably hate me for saying that. It's like, what? You gotta love the spontaneity of the. I think that really they rehearsed and did take after take until they got this to sound absolutely perfect. Actually, thinking about it now, I've heard someone describe it as the studio song is the song, but then they expand upon the song when they do it live. It's an expansion. It's not like the song. It's like an expansion of the song. The song's an idea they expand upon when they do it live.
It's a good description.
All right. So I know we predicted everyone's gonna like the song,
Yeah.
Oh
and you be 100% right because yes,
no,
this is an
let's
amazing
go.
Nice.
song.
Scare me there.
Scared
Was
me
my
there,
acting
Brian.
really good? But anyhow, moving on from that. But yes, yeah, this is another terrific song. Like 3 songs in a row. Yeah, another classic here. I've read that this X song dates back to Led Zeppelin 3, like an early version dates back to that period, but they brought it back
Makes
here.
sense.
But yeah, I mean, everyone here has said it perfectly. I don't have much else to add, but yeah, it just has a very cool acoustic guitar lick to start it off, just hooks you in right away. And of course we talked about when it just switches up, when Bonham just kicks it in the drums. That's just a awesome moment. Like you're just in for it, and again, Robert Plant just really steps it back up, really showing just his rawness. I still don't know what he says some most of the time, but it sounds awesome though. It still sounds awesome. I give it a pass. Um, but yeah, it's just very catchy. The guitar playing on here is fantastic, and I love how towards the end it kind of mellows back out a little bit. It kind of
Yeah.
brings you back down. Little chill way to end it off, but still very good way to close it off. So yeah, it's another highlight.
I knew you were gonna like this song, Briar. I knew you weren't gonna say this song isn't good because if you like music, you have to like the song.
It's an unwritten rule. If you don't like
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin, you
I-
still have to like
I'll,
this.
I'll say what Jason said about Who Are You. If you don't like the song, you don't like music then.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, or just get rid of my channel at that point.
True.
Just get rid of the chat.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I love this song. This is one of my favorites on the album. One of my favorite from Zeppelin, period. We're talking about their whole
Yeah.
catalog. Yes, this now, Brian, you talked about it being like a kind of an early idea from Zeppelin 3, and it totally makes sense.
Mhm.
That kind of like folksy sound that this has. Totally can see that coming off of Zeppelin 3.
Mm.
And,
Mhm.
Jimmy Page always, made ideas and he's like, oh, maybe I'll get back to this later. A lot of that we'll see on the next album come to fruition. But yes, I love this song. I love the soft intro, and I'm always waiting for that John Bonzo's introduction into the song. It just hits me in the chest. It's awesome.
I can attest to
Um,
that.
Yes, man, I don't know what else to say other than the song is amazing. And oh my goodness, the guitar solo is crazy. I love the guitar solo so much. It's great stuff. And uh, John Paul Jones is also really good in the song. That bass is amazing.
Well, I'm just I could say what everyone else is saying, but I'm just gonna go back to when I worked at KCR. His coworker, big Led Zeppelin.
Oh,
Uh, work was the work. I didn't like the job there, but the guy got me into Zeppelin again. So he listened to Zeppelin. Of course, I knew some. Of course, I knew Immigrant Song, but the second song in his playlist was this song, and I didn't know this song. So I hear the acoustic guitar. I'm like, what is this like? Is this like a Led Zeppelin 3 outtake? I heard the ba-da-ba-dum, ba-da-ba-dum, ba-da-bum, ba-bum, bum, ba-da-ba-bum, ba-da-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum, with the good, like for me I love the drumming part at the beginning, but the hard part, but I like the da-da-da-da, and then
Yeah.
Robert Plant with his amazing vocals. Many times I think how much there is to know. Bum 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 bum. Da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum. My favorite line is definitely well, my two favorite lines is with a pocket full of gold.
yes.
Yes.
How much there is to know. And like I just love the rocking section. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna become a Led Zeppelin fan again. So this song is what got me into Zeppelin again. So
Yay.
Yay. Oh,
my other
favorite line, and I just remembered is maybe is a word that always leaves you guessing.
I love
Okay.
the ending
Oh.
of the song where it's like very soft and it's like boom,
Mhm.
it's just like it gets really hard, but then gets really slow again. I'm like, this is amazing. This is like, I'm like, why is this not played on the radio on ZZO and The Hawk and that Stairway to Heaven song and Black Dog and Rock and Roll? Like, this song is way better than those.
I hear it on the radio all the time.
Not
Yeah,
where
me too.
I live. I have 2 radio stations and not one of them plays. this
Your
song.
radio stations need help.
Help.
We need more variety.
If I have to listen to that, if I have to listen to Stairway again, I'm not gonna be happy. Let's just say that.
This might you were talking about that quiet part. This might be a funny time to bring up. When the first time I tried to buy Houses of the Holy, I got a very warped copy of it and very scratchy, distorted. We nicknamed it Houses of the Unholy because of how unplayable it was. When you get to Over the Hills and Far Away, when you get to that quiet section, you can't even hear it because of the scratches are so loud it overpowers that quiet section.
It was awful. Even when it came, it arrived at the door. It was a big red flag because it was this big, huge box for the record.
Yeah,
And
it's like
what
some
is
Kelt's
this?
car seat box. It's twice as big as the record. Anyway, not
Like
gonna get
4
into
times. It's bad. Yeah. Houses of the Unholy.
Yeah. But let's move on to our next song. Ooh.
Oh.
This might
point
be
of
the
contention.
most divisive song yet, but we'll find out. This is
And the biggest meme that we have, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
the crunge.
Will you excuse me?
The crunge. Where do I begin with the crunge?
Yeah, where we go here.
Yeah, well,
This is like probably the most radically different thing Led Zeppelin has ever done. It has more of a funk influence. And the whole time, I think it's clearly inspired by James Brown. And Robert Plant is doing a kind of sort of impression of James Brown. And to be honest, the first time I was listening to the song, I'm like, this is a weird song. Knowing this, but it is a weird song. I don't know how I feel about this song. Especially when you get to that abrupt ending where it's like, hey, I want to know where's the bridge at? And then the other guy's like, where's that confounded bridge? And then that ends the song. I'm like, what? It just sounds like that. That's crazy.
Jacob, I loved your reaction to that.
Yes.
At the end.
Makes you think, who did the James Brown impression better, Robert Plant or Steven Tyler?
I haven't heard Steven Tyler's yet.
What song did Steven Tyler?
Yeah, what did Steven Tyler do?
Pretty much all of the first album.
The first album, yeah.
Robert Plant, easily.
He didn't sound good on the first
better
album.
James Brown impression.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert Plant easily. But the more I've heard this song, the more I think it's a great song. This song, I don't get the hate for it. Yes, it's different. I saw that Rolling Stone, everyone's favorite music magazine, said this was one of the biggest embarrassments of their career, and I could not disagree. This song is it's fun. Like I like the influence. The guitar work is great. I love Robert Plant's vocals here. James Brown has some amazing music, and paying homage to James Brown works for them in this case. And even with the abrupt ending, I think this song is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm I'm kind of with you on the first part of your review there, and then maybe not the last part, but yeah, I'm saying the same thing. This song is so strange and weird when you get to it. It's like, this does not sound like Led Zeppelin to me. I'm like, I don't know what this is. Like it's so out there. It just sticks out from the whole album when you listen to it, and you're like, well, I don't get the song. As you said, because Robert Plant's vocals are just so different, and they sound so off to me to what Robert Plant usually sounds like. And I love Robert Plant's vocals. And you get to this, and you're like, I don't know what's going on with these vocals. They're so weird. There's like these, it sounds like horns. I don't know if it's horns in the background.
John Paul Jones.
Is it? I don't know. Maybe it's a mellotron, whatever. It sounds I don't know, off. Like I'm like distorted. Like it sounds like horns are distorted behind. I'm like, what is going on here? Like everything feels so off about the song. It just doesn't feel like a Led Zeppelin song to me. That and you say James Brown, and I'm not a James Brown fan. I don't like funk music at all. Like you give me a funk music thing, and I'm like, I'm not into it. Like, so this is like them doing my least favorite artist and genre, and so I'm like, why are you doing this to me? The guitar playing is great. Like it's still got some good stuff. It's still upbeat. There's still some good stuff here. It's like maybe it would grow on me if I listen to it more. It could be like one of those songs where I'm like, one day I'm like, I kind of like it. Right now I'm like, it's not one I really want to go back to personally.
Okay, so for me, yes, this song is extremely weird, and I'm all for it. So, Jason, I totally respect your opinion on this song. This song is not for everybody. But for me, I love it whenever Led Zeppelin is just like, we're not going to let anybody know our next move. You have no idea like what the next
Yes.
song on this album is going to be. Like you want Led Zeppelin 5? You want to hear more of what are we doing 4? Well, too bad. Here's James Brown. I don't know. I love the unpredictability of this album. It's like the song remains the same. It's kind of like a standard rock song, and then you get the Rain song. It's like, oh, what is this beautiful ballad? And then we get Over the Hills and Far Away. Oh, now we got a folk song. No, wait, no, it's a rock song. Okay, what's next? James Brown, apparently. And not just James Brown in an odd time signature with some of Bonzo's best drumming. Yes, I said it. The crunge is some of Bonzo's best drumming. I love that drum groove at the beginning. And then John Paul Jones goes, boom, 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 boom. This song is so funky. And the guitar,
very funky.
And yes, that is John Paul Jones. He is playing a synthesizer and making it sound like a horn section.
Okay.
Yes, I love that. I actually, believe it or not, the first time I ever heard this song was on the radio. Yes, I kid you not. I heard the crunch on the radio. And whenever it got to that end, which I'll talk about later, I was like, is that how the song ends? That's hilarious. And I was like, for the longest time, what song was that? I want to hear that song again. The one with Where's the Bridge? And I found it was this one. And when I got to, I was so excited. Like, I found the Where's the Bridge song. I found the bridge. But speaking of that ending, one of the funniest moments in Led Zeppelin's discography is James. If you don't know, the joke is that James Brown in his songs would always say, "Take me to the bridge" whenever you got to the and so Robert Plant goes, "Take me, take me, take me," but then they just keep on going. Excuse me,
to the bridge.
Excuse me, have you seen the bridge? Have you seen the bridge? I'm just trying to find the bridge. Have you seen the bridge? I'm trying to find the bridge. Where's that confounded bridge? And it just cuts out and stops right there.
Okay.
I'm like,
that makes sense.
That is hilarious.
That's
and
funny.
I'm very sad if people think that this is the worst song Led Zeppelin has ever done when Hats Off to Roy Harper is a thing.
True.
This song is so much better than Hats Off to Roy Harper because it's more original, doesn't have that horrible garbly whatever that he's doing on his voice or that sound. And I don't know, this song is more fun, and if for nothing else, it makes me laugh. So that's why I like this song.
All right. This song is very stupid.
Yes, it is. And I love it.
Yep, I agree with Scott. I enjoy it because of how stupid it is.
Spoiler, same with Hot Dog.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like a few of us have said, it's a very fun song. It's a song you really can't take that seriously. You're just like, okay, we're doing this. Okay, they're doing it, so I might as well join in as well. But yeah, I just enjoy lots of the stuff here. Again, Bonham's drumming, top notch. Of course, with funk music, of course, the bass is going to be pretty upfront.
Oh, yeah.
John Paul Jones is very upfront with the bass line here, which is, again, of course, you know why. But yeah, it's just, and Robert Plant's vocals, again, so out there, so different, but it works for some reason to me. It's funny when I read about the original concept of it, because this came out from a jam session. And I think the original concept of this song is, let's try and make a dance song but yet make it so complex it's impossible to dance to.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't danced to it yet, so I don't know if that's true. But it's a fun song. I can't really hate it. It's too they're having fun, so might as well have fun as well.
I love the crunch. Yes. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness gracious. Oh, this song is again, very stupid, but it's so much fun. It's so funny. The abrupt ending is the cherry on top of this song. Uh, man, very funky. Again, adding to the list of genres that this album takes you through. It's a journey. Uh, this is certainly one of the funniest, oddest, weirdest, dumbest songs that Zeppelin's ever done. Right up there with songs like Hot Dog or whatever. But it's so fun. It's so good. Yes, Bonham and John Paul Jones absolutely own the song. This is their song. As much as, Jimmy Page is with that guitar and Robert Plant is like, where's the bridge? This is the John Paul Jones and John Bonham song. It's amazing.
Mhm.
I have a question, Briar. When was the first time you heard this song? I'm just curious.
The crunch?
Yeah.
It's probably when I first heard the album. I can't remember exactly where, but I know when I was getting into music, Zeppelin was one of the bands, and at some point I got to House in the Holy. And when I first heard the crunch, I just remember like I don't think I thought much of it at the time. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. But yeah, kind of as time has gone by, I've sort of gone back to it. I'm like, it's a fun song. So yeah, that's kind of how it is right now.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I heard this song before Tyler did. I heard this before Scott did, and I heard this before Jason did. I heard this before Jacob did. I don't know if I said Jacob twice. Jacob and Jason. Um, I thought it was amazing. First listen, I thought the song. So we're 5 for 6 on this. The song is awesome. When I first heard this, I'm like, this has to be one of their like most known songs. This song is so epic. It's like it's so different. It's so weird. I love it so much. What found the bridge.
Where's that Confounded Bridge?
So like side one ends like that. I'm like, how do they do that? Like, how do they like? How does Led Zeppelin all collectively think that? I think it's so unique. Um,
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: this is my favorite song on the album.
Oh, nice.
Just despite all the haters, on the song.
Yeah, stick it to the haters.
Stick it to the
I
haters.
love this song. Song is epic, and all the funny reasons.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we flip the record over, and I'm going to switch my glasses to my regular glasses.
Yeah, I see Briar is not rocking the shades this time around.
Nope, my eye got better.
Oh, that's good.
I love how like none of us noticed that until now. I wasn't even paying attention to that, honestly.
Well, it looked like Scott had sunglasses on, so I was like, oh, where's Briar?
I just had the sunglasses on because they're cool.
I was like, we should all have sunglasses on just to mirror Briar, and then he doesn't wear them.
Yeah, we'll have to do that if we cover Elton John on this channel.
Yes,
Yes,
okay. I do want to do an Elton John series sometime. Not right now because I've got too many series going on.
Yeah.
When we've completed some of them, I do want to do at least his 70s stuff and a little bit of like 1 or 2 of his 80s albums.
Definitely.
See, I already told Scott that I don't want to commit to any new series right now.
Well, yeah.
No, honestly, same thing. We got to finish up.
A while.
Speaking of which, check out our Aftermath review. I'll try putting a link in the description.
On my channel. Let's go.
But now that we
I
have
wonder
flipped,
if Dancing Days are here again.
yes, we flipped the record. It's time for Dancing Days.
Dancing
That was my
Days
question.
are here again.
Are Dancing Days here again?
The Dancing Days are here again.
Robert Plant, do you think so?
That's
This
the
was
answer to the question.
this was another blind spot. I think it's a catchy track. I like the guitar riff on it. Probably one of the more simplistic songs on the album. But I don't mean that in a bad way. I think this is an enjoyable track. I like the longing for nostalgia that Robert Plant evokes in the song. Uh, it feels like a very relatable song uh, about summer love. And I debate on whether this song or another song is in my top five on this album, but I think it's a pretty good song. I'll just leave it at that.
Cool.
Yeah, it's funny. Like when I first like listened to this album, when we did a ranking. I don't know if that was a year ago when we did a ranking on Led
Yeah,
Zeppelin.
yeah, it was
Uh,
not quite a year ago, but a few months ago.
yeah, and that's like the first time I really listened to this album because I was listening to all the albums really for the first time, except for a couple I've heard before. But just to do this ranking, and yeah, this is one I got to, and so I when I had to go back to this album for this review, I didn't remember Dancing Days, and that happens to me when I because I listen to so many albums. If I go and I'm listening to so many new albums for the first time, so if I go back to an album, a lot of times I'll be like, huh, I don't remember this song. You know, obviously the big ones, I'm like, okay, I remember these songs because I listened to them since I was a kid. But if I get to this song, I'm like, what song is this? And then I was listening to the album and I got to this song. I'm like, oh, this song's amazing. Like I don't know how I forgot this song. Like, and it was one that I was like, wow, this is such a good song. And like, I have to, now I have to remember the song next time and I won't forget it again because it kind of took me by surprise when I got to the song. And I was like, whoa, what is this? Um, because I don't know that it's a big hit song for them or anything that anybody talks about, but it's like to me it's like a one of those deep cut hidden gems to me. But um, I just love the guitar. Again, it's just solid. Led Zeppelin's just they're just a great rock band, and this is why when they hit you with one of these songs, you're like, yes, this is why I listen to Led Zeppelin for a song like
Yes,
this.
sir.
They hit you with that guitar, like I'm like, oh my god, that guitar is so awesome. And then Robert Plant's, hope it's all right or something. It's all right. You're my one and only. Like I don't know, I love his voice there as he's singing. I love that the guitar riff kind of goes throughout the whole song, and then you'll hear little guitar solos throughout the song. Or like, geez, like he's doing like the guitar riff and these guitar solos at the same time. Like it just works so well together, and that's what Led Zeppelin does so well is guitar riffs and guitar solos put together. But yeah, I think it's definitely one of the best ones on here.
Yeah, this song is amazing. A little bit of Eastern influence here.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Oh, yeah.
Plant was over somewhere across the ocean, heard like some like traditional folk music of the area over there, had a tape recorder with them and recorded it, played it back and thought, let's make something that's kind of inspired by that. And we get this song with that
Yeah.
riff. I really like that. It's really cool. The guitar is great. John Paul Jones kind of playing like some high pitched stuff, like I don't know what that is. I think it is some kind of keyboard doing that. But Robert Plant's vocals are very good. Yeah. This is another one of the songs that they played that introduced me to this album on the radio that day. When they played the three songs, I was like, okay, time to check this album out. But very, very, very good song.
Yeah, it's a solid song. I do like it. And to answer, and Scott said I was didn't know where Robert was. They were actually in Bombay, I believe.
Not Cashmere?
That's where. Yeah, I think that was another song that was
That sounds
another song that was
familiar.
involved.
Okay.
Yeah, but they could have been written around the same time.
That's
So yeah, it's
the
kind of has the.
Puff Daddy song. Am I thinking right? No.
We'll talk about that later. Another time though. But yeah, it definitely has a more kind of east and kind of has that more different vibe to it. It's definitely a much different riff to it. Um, this one, and I do agree with Jacob, it's definitely the most straightforward song. It's not the most complex out of the rest of the songs here. And I guess because of that, for me, it kind of ranked at the bottom, because comparatively, there wasn't a whole lot that made it stood out aside from the riff. Because every other song on this album, I can remember very easily. Like I remember exactly what it sounds like. With this song, aside from the riff, I don't remember much else from it. And I listened to this album right before we recorded, and I only remember bits of it. Um, again, it's not mean it's a bad song. I still like it, but again, comparatively to me, it just kind of didn't really stand out. So that's just my take on it.
I like the song. This is a nice opener for the second side. Again, lots of flavor in this album. This is another nice little genre exploration or some sort of different musical flavor that you get to experience in this album. This is a fun song. I love the riff. And Robert Plant's vocals are amazing on this song. I don't know. He's just really good. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about the song other than I really like it, and it sounds really cool. So,
This is a really good song on the album. I will agree with Jacob and Briar. This is probably the more simplistic songs on this album, but I think the song's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, of their simplistic songs from the previous, like this song, like this album and the last album, say it's probably the best of all the simplistic songs that they made from the two albums I heard, like 4 and this album. The line, it's all right.
no, it's
It's just
alright.
so
My heart.
it's such a catchy song, Ah, dancing days are here again.
Yeah.
And you can't listen to the ba-na-na-na-na, ba-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na without it getting stuck in your head for like
Yeah.
forever. Like I
Yes.
play this song, like this other guy named Alan from KCR, and I play this song, and he's like, "Thanks a lot, Nick. The song stuck in my head." like like
Oh, Led Zeppelin does that.
I played it. He was like, after the song's over, he's like, "Thanks a lot, Nick. Now this song's stuck in my head." I'm like, sorry.
We should have just played Misty Mountain Hot from the last album.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Bow, dow, 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 dow.
The song is epic
Yes.
though. If we were doing a track versus track like this album and for like right now, it'd be 5-0 right now.
Mhm.
Okay, so the next song was the single released from this album. I'm gonna try to pronounce this correctly.
Jamaica.
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 Well, yeah, this is an interesting song. This is one of 3 songs I had heard from this album before actually listening to the album in full. For the longest time, I had no idea what the title was a reference to.
Oh, me either. Yeah, I was
It
like,
said Dire Maker.
do you make her? What?
I have no idea what that is. It was Scott who informed me. Oh, it's a play on the verb Jamaica, and
Yeah.
the song was written as a joke because when the British say Jamaica, it sounds like Jamaica or something like that. And so they're trying to do this reggae style song. And I defend the grunge. They do something different on that song. And I actually enjoyed the effort on that one. That one's a load of fun. But I'm sorry, I have never gotten the love for Jamaica at all. Rolling Stone, and their negative review of this album, they said there were 2 songs on this album that they thought were big embarrassments to their careers. The first was The Crunch, the other was Jamaica. Now, I'm not as harsh as Rolling Stone. I don't think it's an outright embarrassment. That title goes to Hats Off to Roy Harper. I think that song is still way worse.
Yes.
But I think, if anything, this song annoys me more than anything else. Because, yeah, the guitar part's still pretty good. I like the part where Robert Plant goes, "Oh, baby, I love you." That part's kind of catchy.
That's
But
good.
you got 4 minutes where most of the song is like, oh, why do you have to go?
Baby,
You don't have to go.
Yeah, the song just never really. The song just never really been my thing. It's no surprise. It's my least favorite song on the album. I think it's probably my second to least favorite Led Zeppelin song at this point.
Jeez Louise.
Oh,
Oh,
Man, this is like
Oof.
It's still better than Roy Harper, but I still don't think it's
hey,
equal.
yo.
is there at least a big gap between Roy Harper and this song?
man, this is like
Okay.
helplessly hoping all over again. What is going on?
This is Jamaica. This is Roy Harper.
Okay, good. At least
Yay.
okay.
Mhm.
I was hoping it wasn't going to be like that.
Since I have the Chiefs hat, I could recreate what Jason's reaction was when.
Yeah, I can.
Oh no, you're not in the hat.
Put me in the highlight.
If I had to rate this,
Oh, I thought you were
I
gonna.
still have
if I had
no
to rate
regrets
this
for that.
song, Roy
Put me
Harper would
on
be
the
like
big screen afterwards.
if I had to rate the songs, Roy Harper would be like I don't know, 0 out of 10. It's garbage. I think Jamaica would be like I don't know, 4 or 5 out of 10.
Oh.
Oh man,
Jamaica
Man,
needs some defense.
man, that threw me for a loop hearing that.
For
Uh,
once, Jason actually likes the reggae song. Like I
mean,
know you don't like Why Don't You Write Me from Simon and Garfunkel, and you really don't like
right.
Rush.
I
So
don't,
it's like
I
the
don't
one
think
thing-
the reggae sound fits Led Zeppelin. That's the thing that threw me off. I'm like, why are they doing this? Which is weird because Jason didn't think the funk thing worked for the
Right.
Cranes, but I felt like that song at least. I don't know. I had more fun listening to that song. This one was just annoying to me.
Oh, just wait till you get to Cherry O Baby by the Rolling Stones.
Man, I'm the exact opposite of you,
that
Jacob.
song sucks. Cherry O Baby.
I get the feeling "Over the Hills and Far Away" is the only song we're all going to agree on because I feel like we're all disagreeing on everything else on this album, and we're probably all going to say it's a great album, yet we disagree on it. It's really
We
weird.
disagree on which songs make it great. Unless you're
Yeah,
me,
which songs make it
unless you're
great.
me, it was your favorite Zeppelin album. You like all 8 of them.
Yeah, I mean, Breyer, his "Helplessly Hoping" comment, it was the most shocking thing I've ever heard in my life. Nick's comment about "Stairway to Heaven" is probably the second most shocking thing, and then Jamaica is probably the third most shocking thing I've heard in my life. And it's up there as one of those. Just man, that shocked the heck out of me. I remember hearing the song as a kid because it was on the radio quite a bit on the '70s station, that I used to listen to as a teenager, and I always just loved the song. I was always like, man, it's so catchy, it's so fun. I love the vocals, love the guitar on here. And I didn't even know this was a Led Zeppelin song for a long time. And then when I was like, oh, this is Led Zeppelin, like, because I don't think of them doing this style, and I was like, wow, they make me love Led Zeppelin even more. I'm like, man, this is awesome. Like they can do this song and make it really cool. Like I love the oh 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 oh, I don't want to go. Like I love that. That melody is so good. It just stays in my brain. I love it. I'm just it's so good. It's one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs. It's in my top 10, maybe my top 5 favorite Led Zeppelin song. One that I listen to over and over again. It just gets stuck in my head and I can't get it out, and for good reasons. Anyway, so that's my take.
Well, let me just say, there is definitely one of you that I agree with more. Jason. So I really like this song. It's super infectious. Like the drumming, John Bonham's drumming on this.
Oh, great drumming. Yeah.
And the guitar boom 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 boom. I don't know. I just love that every song on this album is just completely different than every other song on this album.
That's
you
very
got
true.
funk, you got reggae, you got rock, folk. Well, we got some borderline progressive rock coming up on the next track. Like, you got everything you want on this album. And I just love all the different styles on here, even this one. Like, do I think Led Zeppelin should have done another reggae song? No. But it works here for this one. And I really like that about this song. Apparently, this is a song that they just recorded once in the studio and never played live, which is kind of interesting considering it's one of their big songs. But
Yeah.
Anyway, I like the song. I don't think it's going to be in my top 5 on this album, but still, all 8 of these songs are top notch for me.
Okay, so where do I land? Do I side with the side that loves it, or do I side with the ones that don't like it? They're neither.
Neither.
I'm kind of split on it.
Okay.
Because there are things I do like about it. Because with reggae, of course, you have great grooves on it, and of course, again with reggae, you have some great bass lines. The only thing is that reggae's never been one of my go-to genres. I like it, but I need to be in the right mood for it if I want to listen to some reggae. I like some Bob Marley here and there, but again, not something I go to very often. But again, when Led Zeppelin do reggae, it's fine. I don't mind it at all. Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't love it either. It's never been one of my favorites. But there's definitely some good stuff in it that I really do like. Again, the melody itself is pretty memorable. Like, yeah, I agree with Jason. Like, you hear that melody, and yet it totally stays in your head. So I definitely give it that, and I definitely think it's a lot more memorable than what was that? What was the last song again? Dancing Days. I think that's way more memorable in my opinion.
Ouch.
See,
Dancing
I
Days.
forgot the name of it. That tells you.
What song is that?
Ouch.
I don't remember.
The name of the song in Briar's Head is "Bah." That's the name
Yeah,
of the
that's
song.
it.
Like
Yeah,
the
that's it,
fourth
yeah.
album has no name. The song's title is "Bah."
No name.
There you go. That's it. That's how it is. And there's some good guitar work as well in this song as well, which again, very nice to it. But again, I'm kind of in the middle of it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. So yeah, there you go.
All right. Actually, I like the song as well. I think it's pretty fun. It does get a little bit repetitive toward the end with the oh. But other than that, I still kind of really like this song. I I think they only did one song like this. I think this is the only song I did like this. Is again, it works for this album because it's like this whole album is never let them know your next move. And you have I like to nickname this album a whole lot of genres. It's just like
A whole lot of genres.
it's just everything is different. It's just different. A lot of it's just so weird. It's a very eccentric album, and I love that about it. Dance Jamaica is very fun. When I first heard this song, not for the album, but I have a lot of playlists of different artists, and I just list a bunch of albums in there. And I'm like, is this Dire Maker? What is this? But listen to this in Jamaica, kind of like an English kind of way, like Jamaica or something like that. It's fun. I really like this song. I think it's cool. Like they're trying to do reggae, and it's better reggae than there was it was Yellow Brick Road. Elton John's tried to do reggae.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
Jamaica.
Say it's Jamaica
jerk
Jerk
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Led Zeppelin did it better, just so you know.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But
what's
yeah, I
funny
still really like
about
this
Yellow
song.
Brick Road is that song is credited to on the album. What is it? Reggae Dwight is what he credited. Reggae Dwight and like Bernie O'Boogie or something like that.
Yeah, this song is definitely really fun.
Me, when I first heard the song, it was from my dad's rock playlist. He has a playlist of classic rock songs, and I loved it the first listen. I thought it was a really good song. Do I still think that? Or am I on Jacob's side? Well, I strongly disagree with Jacob. The song is awesome still. The song holds up really well. Again, I'm 5 for 6 on this one. This song is it's such a good song.
Okay, good.
It's one of those songs where I'm with Jason. This song is amazing. It's one of those songs that gets stuck in your head, baby, I love you. You know, I love this song. I really do. You know, it's funny because for the longest time, my favorite song on this album was "Over the Hills." But now that I've been thinking about it, this is probably my second favorite song on the album.
Oh wow.
All right.
Also, they beat the Police to the punch by 10 years.
Yes.
Oh, you're right.
White boy reggae.
Oh, every move I make. Oh.
Oh yes.
Every breath I take. Okay.
Did Queen do a reggae song?
No.
Okay, I couldn't think of one on top of my head.
They should have done a reggae song, except they did Body Language.
I can't think of the Who ever doing a reggae song.
Body Language.
The Police did reggae a lot and had a whole album.
Yeah.
named
Oh,
after it.
White Boy Reggae.
Yeah.
I love Regatta de Blanc.
As much as I love the Who and I think they're the greatest band that ever lived, I would never imagine them doing reggae. It would just
Me
I
either.
can't hear
No.
Daltrey's voice on a reggae
Oh,
song.
no.
That would not
Can't hear-
work.
No.
I
I
that's
mean,
not
Keith
what I
Moon
thought.
maybe, but
Yeah, I can hear Keith. I can hear Keith Moon doing Jamaica.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to go. Oh.
Oh,
Baby, I love you.
Cheerio, baby.
Oh, baby, I love you.
Oh. Okay,
Keith Moon.
I've got to get on track because I really want to talk about the next song. It's so cool. We got the song
love
that
this
Tyler
song.
is referencing with his name,
Yeah.
No Quarter.
I'm gonna come out and say it. This is my favorite song on the album.
Yes.
Let's go, baby! Let's go, baby!
The No
This
Quarter Gang,
is-
rise up.
This is one of the coolest Led Zeppelin songs I've ever heard. From the really cool piano part, which it does sound like who's doing the piano part? Is it John Paul Jones?
John Paul
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Yeah.
It sounded like he was playing it underwater. I don't know how he did that effect, but it's amazing.
Magic
I think
Mellotron.
the more I'm hanging out with you guys, the more I'm getting into, because this does have a prog rock sound because it's very
yeah.
experimental. There's a lot of extended like guitar parts. The song is long; it's about 8 minutes long, but there's a lot of amazing stuff in it. The piano in it, the guitar part that comes in, Robert Plant's vocals. I'm not really sure what the lyrics invoke, but I know
Vikings.
Thor's reference, so I guess it involves Norse mythology and that type of stuff.
It's about
but
Vikings and
Vikings.
preparing for
Vikings and
battle.
stuff, kind of like the immigrant song.
Yeah, kind of like the Immigrant Song Part 2.
Yeah, but I think the song is really cool. I'm usually not the one to say that a deep cut is my favorite song on an album. That's usually Nick. I'm usually like the big hit song is usually my favorite song on the album. But yeah, I'm actually gonna pull a Nick. This song is really amazing. It's one of their best deep cuts that I've discovered to date.
When the hit song is Jamaica, he had no other choice.
Yeah, well, Over the Hills and Far Away is really good too. But yeah, Jamaica didn't work. But this song, I want to hear this on the radio. Come on.
Man, I don't know if they could. I didn't even know it was. You know what? This song is so good. I didn't even know it was 8 minutes long until you brought that up.
Yeah, I think I forget which one's the longest song on the album. It's either this.
I think it's the
or
Rain song.
Just by a couple seconds, I think.
All right. Do you guys have any prediction of where I would be on this song?
Well, I know it's not
It's
too
slow and it's too well. It's not bluesy, but it's too long, and I'm assuming you're
Too
gonna
proggy.
Is it better than the Crunge at least?
No, this is the worst song on the album.
Oh, no!
No!
Okay, hold on a second.
Okay.
I will say,
In your
in
defense,
Jason's defense, I thought this was the worst song on the album the first time I heard it. It had to take me 2 or 3
I can
songs
attest.
to appreciate this song.
It was my favorite song on the first listen, for the record.
I've
it's-
always loved this song.
First time I heard it, it was like, this is one of the worst Led Zeppelin songs. I'm like,
No.
I do not get this at all.
God.
You guys like the song? I don't get it. I'm confounded.
It's the
by
helplessly hoping moment for you.
how anybody
This
can
is
like
the
this song.
helplessly
It's so
hoping moment.
boring. It bores me to tears. It's so
No.
long.
Oh,
I just can't wait to get over with the song and get to the next one. It's just yeah.
Mm.
I can listen to the
Oh,
this song.
this is the vital signs of
I have to
this
skip the
album.
song when I get to it.
No.
This is the vital signs of Led Zeppelin.
the vital sign.
Just letting you know,
Oh.
Jason. We're still with you, even though we disagree with you.
I'm
And
yeah. I'm the only one who
uh,
thinks that. I
yeah.
can't believe it. This song is oh my gosh. I don't get the song at all. Okay.
Oh,
Well, it's me in Jamaica. I don't get it either.
Yeah.
yeah.
I know we're
Right,
exact
right,
opposites on these two songs, Jacob. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I agreed with you up till Jamaica, and then we went off the rails after that.
Yeah, I kind of test. When we first listened to this album, Garrett said that this was his least favorite, or Scott, sorry, Scott said this was his least favorite on the album, and I think it took a couple more listens. And for me too, it took a little bit for me to really like this song. It's definitely an acquired taste,
But once you
I guess
acquire
so.
it.
but once you get it, you're like, oh, I love this.
I've always liked this song.
Okay,
Jacob.
Huh.
so my thoughts on this song. The first time I heard it, I'm like, what the heck is this song? It's got some weird effects on his voice and whatever. And it's because I wasn't really listening to the song. I was just like, what is this? When I got over the initial shock of what is this, I listened to it again, and it's like, is that an underwater piano? Which is it's a thing that we're gonna have. But John Paul Jones's keyboard playing on this is top notch. And this and the Rain song are his songs on this album.
Yes.
And like the moody atmosphere, and then
Oh.
you get ring when that chord comes in, so epic, and then that heavy riff. Yeah. And then it all calms down again. And Robert Plant got that warbly effect on his voice, like close the door, turn out the lights.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, Jacob, it's kind of the extension of the immigrant song about the Vikings going off to battle. They hold no quarter, which means that basically means they're ruthless and they're just gonna charge
prisoners.
through. Yeah, they take no prisoners. But and then we get the guitar solo. Oh my goodness, the guitar solo was epic, especially the part that goes. That's my favorite part. I love that. If you watch the performance that they do 1973 at Madison Square Garden, you will be treated to a video of John Paul Jones as the Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's artsy. I would rather just seen the concert footage, but this
That's
song
the
is
song remains the same movie. Yes.
this song is absolutely epic, and there's really not much more I can say about it other than I think it's amazing. Oh, oops, wrong order.
Wrong order.
There we go.
All right. Okay, so for me, yep, I like this. I really do enjoy this song a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say where. I'm not gonna say where it is in my top 5, but I've read a little bit of things on it, but apparently this song kind of dates back to the last album, Led Zeppelin 4. Traces of it was kind of formed around this time, but this was basically Jones's baby here. Like he was the main guy composing this, and it definitely shows with the keyboard intro. And when I hear the intro, I get very strong Pink Floyd vibes from it. It almost sounds like Echoes. Like it has a very similar
Yeah.
vibe to it. If you hear the beginning of Echoes in this, it's a very similar vibe, which I've always enjoyed that. And again, Scott mentioned it, but yeah, that guitar riff is probably the heaviest riff on this album, especially just how bit thick it sounds in the mix. And apparently,
yeah.
I think Page slowed down the track just to make it even sound even more menacing. And again, it perfectly fits the tone to it. But yeah, there's like a lot of great playing on here. The guitar solo again, spectacular. There's some nice jamming here, and even some piano, a little piano playing in the middle section, which is really nice texture. But yeah, this is a really big highlight for me. So yeah, no quarter, and I don't have quarters right now, so I'm broke.
This is the best Black Sabbath song that ever was.
I can. Oh my God, you are totally right. This sounds like something I hear from Sabbath, Blaze Sabbath almost.
Yes, it does. It sounds like something that Ozzy would do with the weird vocal effect with the
Yeah.
yeah,
Sabbath.
I've been saying it since I first heard it, like way back. I'm like, this is the best Black Sabbath song that ever was.
Black Zeppelin.
Black Zeppelin.
Iron Zeppelin.
Led Sabbath.
Let's Sabbath. This is my favorite song. I love this song. Man, it's such a cool song, very atmospheric. I love the subject material. Vikings going to battle. They know they won't be coming home tonight. Oh my goodness. This is John Paul Jones' song, as well as the Rain song. He kind of, oh my goodness. I love John Paul. He's my favorite Led Zeppelin member. I love him. His contribution to this band. Just, I know, underwater piano, it's hilarious. I loved it. But that guitar riff is amazing. That heavy, messing guitar riff, and it's just the mellotron. He's just flexing his mellotron muscles on this album, more so on this song as well. But let's not forget, John Bonham is also here and absolutely killing it.
Oh, I forgot about Bonham. Man,
Bonzo is also here and he's awesome. Man, I don't know. Yes, it is 7 minutes. The Rain song is like half a minute longer. It's just so Rain song is the longest song on the album. But No Quarter has got to be my favorite song on this album. I love this song. That's it.
To say I don't agree with Jason is putting it extremely lightly.
Yes.
What else is new?
I love this song from the very beginning. I'm with Jacob on this. I love this song. This is a masterpiece. Yeah, I actually, after thinking about it, my song ranking. I had an idea of what my song ranking of this album was gonna be, but now that I'm thinking about the song, it has changed. As in, the song did not remain the same. Yeah, I love this song. This is cool. This is unique. You know, the fact that Stairway to Heaven has to be played a billion times, but not this once, just doesn't cease to disgust me as a Zeppelin fan. It just proves to me how like radio isn't for music fans; it's for people who just want to listen to a select few songs from whatever band.
okay, so now we are on the final track, The Ocean. Ba-da-dump. Oh, wait, before we start about the ocean, I just have one thing to say. And how do I add? We've done 4 already, and now we're steady, and now they go. 1, 2, 3.
3, 4.
Ba-da-dump, ba-da-dump, ba-da-dump.
So, what's funny is with the title, I thought I'd never heard this song before, and then
Yeah.
I listened to it. I'm like, okay, I have heard this song on the radio before. I recognize it as soon as Robert Plant started singing "Standing in the Sunshine, Laughing in the Rain." I'm like, oh, I've heard this. I've actually heard this. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a really strong album closer. The guitar riff is excellent. It's very memorable. Robert Plant, you mentioned it was apparently sped up. I didn't feel like it was sped up. It didn't feel near as distorted as it was on Song Remains the Same. I can at least understand what he's saying on this song. There's some really cool instrumentation on here. There's this one weird part at the end where like the style changes and it almost sounds like you're at a carnival at the end of the song, which is kind of it's kind of neat. It's trying. I think it's trying to subvert expectations a little bit. I think it does feel like a step down though compared to how amazing the last album closer was, When the Levee Breaks. I think I'll rank the album closers real fast. When the Levee Breaks is still my favorite album closer. And then Bring It On Home from 2 is my second favorite. I'd put The Ocean at number 3. And then How Many More Times? And then easily the worst closer is Boy Crap.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
Oh, if Hey Hey What Can I Do were the closer, where would you rank that?
Number 2 behind When the Levee Breaks.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, that's where I rank it. But the Ocean's still a pretty good song. It's one of the stronger tracks on the album. You'll probably see it in my top 5. It's a really enjoyable track.
Yeah, I would venture to say this is probably my favorite closer of any Led Zeppelin album that I've heard so far that I can remember. It's an awesome rock song. It's another just top tier Led Zeppelin rock song. It's why I love listening to Led Zeppelin. I love that guitar riff. As you guys we've already gone through that. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's just so good. The guitar is just amazing throughout. It's just the drumming is amazing throughout. Everything. It's like it's another like one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs on here. There's like 3 Led Zeppelin songs are like maybe top 10 Led Zeppelin. So good. And I don't know. This is my take when I was listening to this album this last time. Is like if I was to do this album, if I was in charge of resequencing this album, I would put The Ocean as the opener because I think it would have been a great opener because I think it's the best rock song on the album. And I love when they put a good rock song. I mean, like I said, Whole Lot of Love, Immigrant Song, was it Communication Breakdown? Is that the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
Good Times, Bad Times.
Good Times, Bad Times.
Good Times, Bad Times. Yeah, that's a great opener. I mean, they do such a great with their openers. So to me, Ocean been like, man, that would have been an awesome opener to the album.
That makes sense.
And I would have ended the album on Over the Hills and Far Away. To me, that would have been a great closer. But that's just my opinion of like what I would do to make this album better. I feel like they missed an opportunity here to sequence this album a little bit better. But just to say, this is a great closer to the album. Definitely helps that bad taste of No Quarter off of me. I go, all right. Like if they ended on No Quarter, I'd be like, oh my god, this is terrible. But they ended on this, and I'm like, oh okay, good. I'm really happy now. I got this song at the end, anyways. But yeah, it's another great Led Zeppelin song.
I'm the only one who thinks this album is perfectly sequenced.
Maybe that's just my opinion. I don't know.
I know some other
It
people.
doesn't bother me.
I like a great song at the beginning and a good epic song at the end. That's me.
I think in my opinion, I feel like it would have been better if like the opener was the closer and the closer was the opener. Like have like John Bonham be like, we got 4-0 City and now we're ready. It's like I feel like that would have been better and like have like the after that really like moody like John Paul Jones song, No Quarter, have like the song remains the same, be like the closer, just like bring things up again and just be like, farewell, we're over.
I don't know. If Song Remains the Same open or close the album, I probably would have been disappointed in how it ended. I think it works better as the opening song as kind of a warm up. And The Ocean, I think, closes the album. Yeah.
Anyway, this album, I mean, just the song. The song totally rocks. I love the riff. I love the count in from John Bonham. Boom, boom, boom. And the drumming. Not just the drumming, but like the sound that they put on the drumming to make it sound huge. The production choices, Robert Plant's high-pitched vocals, whatever the is in the background. And I do like whenever they change it up at the end. I think it's cool. And then Robert Plant says my exact thoughts on this album as the last line. Oh, it's so good. That's my exact thoughts about this album. Oh, it's so good. album is so good, and I do think The Ocean is a great way to end the album.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. This is a pretty good, solid way to go out. And we already talked about the riff. The riff is fantastic,
Oh.
and drumming on here is great. And one thing I found out what the ocean actually means, it's supposed to be a metaphor for, their audience. The phrase, "Look at that sea of people out there." Like seeing all those people just at their shows is just, I don't know, it just left an impact on my. But yeah, and yeah, there's so many different cool switch ups in this one. Like briefly, there's like a brief a cappella break for Robert Plant to just kind of sing on his own, and then it
Yeah.
switches again. You have like a almost 50s style rock and roll feel as the song goes out. Yeah, it's a really good rock song, and a very good way to close out the album.
The Ocean, this is again a great closer. I kind of see it as an opening, but I think The Ocean is kind of their way of saying, "Hey, we took you on this weird journey with all these different musical genres. Now we still got the touch of the heavy rock song. So we're gonna
Yeah,
end the
yeah.
album with the rock song. And they kind of did that with the song Remains the Same, but they really brought the rock with The Ocean. Kind of it's like, hey, we did some weird stuff, some cool, groovy, wacky, funky things. We're gonna end the album and just remind you, hey, we still got the touch, we still got the power, and we got this big rock song to end the album, and it's quite good. That riff is amazing, very very memorable riff. I love this. Um, yeah, I love it. I don't know. I just this whole album has been amazing, and this is a great closer track. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm kind of ending the like I'm like I kind of agree with everyone. Like I'm not gonna say the song's bad. Like I'm gonna say we all agree the song's good at least, but I don't know. Compared to the other 7 songs, it's probably the weakest song on the album. There's some really good parts of it. I love the end part where they're just going at it, and I like the acapella part, but to me, the first part of the song is just okay, besides the jump bottom counting. I don't know. This has never been one of my favorite songs by them, and I don't know. That's like this song is probably one of the main reasons why this album isn't my favorite album by them. It's good. I think it's really good, but it's not one of my favorites by them.
Mhm.
Well, that is Houses of the Holy by Led Zeppelin. Oh, you
Yeah.
flipped the negative
Oh, the
image.
deluxe edition, nice.
Yeah.
I wonder if you'd do Led Zeppelin 3 if negative bottom looks like regular bottom.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
funny. The only song we all agreed on that was amazing was "Over the Hills."
I think so.
Yeah.
I think only
yeah,
one
I
thing
swear
on it.
this is the most
A
one
lot
of the
of
most
lot of variety
I
with our
didn't think
opinions.
this album,
Like this
or at least
album.
song wise, would be so polarizing.
I know.
Yeah, what in all honesty, when I came to
Hey,
this
just wait
album,
until we. If we're talking about divisive, just wait until we get to Into the Outdoor.
Or
Yeah.
Presence. Those 2 albums are gonna be.
I thought 2 things when I came to this album. I thought, okay, we're all going to agree "Over the Hills and Far Away" is like one of the best songs here, and I thought we're all going to agree that "No Quarter" is the worst song on here, and I couldn't be more wrong. So like I don't,
Yeah, you're
I can't predict this group at all. This group is so unpredictable. Like
Well,
I just know
I
if I
like
hate
to
it, someone's
keep
going
it
to
that
love
way.
it.
You
Okay,
know
if I
what?
hate it,
That's what
gonna love
makes it fun. Okay,
Okay,
we,
so-
we might be like, oh no, Jason hates No Quarter, but you know what? It makes the video interesting.
Yes.
It
So
does.
I will say I did predict Jason was not gonna like it because
Okay.
songs are just not his thing.
No,
But
the one I predicted Jason was not going to like was the crunge.
Yeah, yeah.
when it comes to Jacob though, he is one unpredictable guy.
He's very unpredictable.
Yes.
Yes.
Like You Shook Me he liked, and No Quarter is his favorite song on this album. I would have never guessed in a million.
Yeah.
I was secretly hoping that was going to be his favorite song, and it wasn't disappointing when he revealed that. Okay.
No Quarter Gang, rise up!
Yes. Okay. So let's go ahead. I'm not gonna spotlight anybody anymore. But we're gonna go through and we're gonna do the top 5 songs on the album.
I'll go first. Well, I'll go first because I'm actually gonna rank all the songs because to me this top five thing is not good enough for this album. That's how good it is. Number 8, The Ocean. It's good, but I think the other 7 are better. Number 7, The Song Remains the Same. Number 6, Dancing Days. Number 5, The Rain Song. Number 4, this shocked me. Like after thinking about the things, I'm like, Over the Hills and Far Away is number 4.
Oh
Oh
wow.
wow. Number 4.
Number 3, Jamaica. Number 2, No Quarter. And number 1, The Crime.
The crunch.
Hey,
Wow. My bottom 2 are your top 2
Yes.
all right.
again.
All right. I think I'm gonna go with Nick. I think I'm gonna rank all 8 because there's only 8 songs. At the bottom, no contest, Jamaica. Not a fan of that song.
Naturally.
Number 7, The Song Remains the Same. 6 and 5 are kind of interchangeable, and this is gonna be a last minute change, but I think I'm gonna put it in my top 5 because it's a little more memorable to me. But my number 6 is gonna be Dancing Days, and number 5, The Rain Song, mainly for the Mellotron. Number 4, I'm going with the Crunge.
He
I
put the
really like
crunge
that.
over the reins.
Yeah, I like
Okay,
the Crunge.
okay.
This is
Number
wild,
3,
this whole ranking thing.
I put four,
top
I put 4
3.
songs over the Rain song, so don't be too mad
Guys,
at it.
guys. Jake.
All right, top 3. My number 3 is The Ocean. Number 2, Over the Hills and Far Away, and number 1, No Quarter.
Cool.
All right, I'll go next, y'all. Wait, I'll go next. All right, so for me, number 5, I'll just do top 5. For me, number 5 is going to be. I'm gonna put The Ocean at number 5. I really like this song. Number 4 is going to be. I'm gonna have to go with The Crunch, and then 3 is going to be. Number 3 is going to have to be The Rain Song. Number 2, Over the Hills, and No Quarters. Number 1.
Wow. No
Wow,
quarters.
number 1's No Quarter. Wow.
I'm
This song
shocked.
gets a lot of love.
I'll go last.
Okay.
Um,
I'm gonna rank all 8 of them as well. Number 8 is going to be Dancing Days. Number 7. 7 and 6 are the ones that I'm iffy about. For now, number 7 will be The Song Remains the Same. Number 6 is going to be Jamaica. Number 5 is The Ocean. Yes, number 4 is The Crunch.
Yeah.
People saying The Crunch at number 4. I'm like, it's number 1, baby.
Number 3,
Yeah, baby.
I'm probably going to be the one who has this song the lowest. Over the Hills and Far Away. Number 2.
Yeah, no, actually, I did. I had it at number 4.
he had 4, yeah.
Okay. Number 3 was that. Number 2, No Quarter, and number 1, The Rain Song.
Wow. So No Quarter is pretty high up.
Now
on
let me say I was that close to actually putting No Quarter at number 1, but I'm like, no, it's The Rain Song.
Gotta be The Rain Song, maybe.
It's amazing.
Yeah, number 8 is by far the No Quarter song. It's number 8 on the list. And it's not even close. It's not even close. Oh my god. Okay.
he did the thing again.
Whoa.
Number 7, The Crunch, and that's not even close. It's by far the 2 worst on here. For me. Number 6 is The List Remains the Same. Number 5. All right, now we get to the good stuff here. Number 5, The Rain Song. Number
you
4,
put it the
Dancing
lowest.
Days. Yeah. Number 3, The Ocean. Number 2, Jamaica. And number 1, Over the Hills and Far Away.
What'd you put in number 4?
Dancing Days.
Dancing Days. Ah.
All right. So now I'm just going to do my top 5 to
Okay.
just build more suspense.
Okay.
So number 5 is The Crunch.
Hey,
Hey,
is The Crunch in everyone's top 5 other than Jason's?
Yeah, I think so. Pretty
Yeah.
sure. No Quarter and Crunch is like everybody's top 5.
Yeah. Number 4, The Rain Song.
Yes.
Number 3, Over the Hill and Far Away.
Yes.
Number 2, the song remains the same.
Yo, we got a quadrifecta.
And number
Yeah,
one,
baby.
it's no quarter.
We
No
got
quarter
I
for King
purposely
Liza.
downplayed my thoughts on it.
Man.
Okay, so we got 3 people who have no quarter at number 1. We
Yeah.
have 2 people who have a number 2, and we have Jason who has it all the way at number 8.
Number 8.
Wow.
Like,
Oh
Man.
my!
Well, as Jacob says,
You know
the
what's
beauty of
crazy,
music
too?
is the
You
subjectivity
know
of
what's
it.
crazy too? I was this close to putting no quarter at number 1, but I'm like, I'll put the crunch up there because it's so wacky.
You,
what?
have you found the confounded bridge yet?
Right here.
Oh,
He's right next to me.
so Nick had the crunch at number 1,
Yeah.
and then 3 of you had the no quarter,
Yes.
and then
I
Scott
picked
had
the
Rain
right.
Song.
I'm the only one who picked the Rain song.
Yeah. Oh wow. So man, and then I'm the only one who picked Over the Hills and Far Away, and I thought that was for sure number 1 for everybody.
It's number
I
3.
was
It's
so
number 3
on
for
this
me.
album.
Number
It's
3.
number 2.
Still high.
I thought it
Like,
was going to be my
like-
number 1.
You know what's
honestly,
crazy?
Listening to the album.
You know what's crazy? If we didn't do that album listening party with the 4 of us, I would have actually said Over the Hills would have been my number 1. But after not listening to it for a while, then re-listening to it on my record, I'm like, yeah, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
And I probably had Jamaica the highest. I'm guessing out of anybody.
I had a number
Yeah.
3. Yeah, you had a number 2, I believe.
Okay, so you're close.
I really like Jamaica, so I'm with you on that.
Yeah, me and you, I think, liked it the most. Okay, that's interesting.
Probably because I listened to it first and I have a lot more personal connections with it. I'm a little more biased on Jamaica.
Okay.
Okay. Hold the phone because we still got to give it a score out of 10.
Okay, I think I'll go first. Well, I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10 like I did Led Zeppelin 4. The main reason it's not getting a 10, song remains the same, it's just okay at best. And then Dancing Days, I think is solid, but it's far from their best. And even like the Rain song, which barely made it into my top 5, I would consider it a top tier song. I would say probably 4 out of the 8 songs are like amazing top tier Led Zeppelin songs. The main reason I have the score that I'm going to give it is because I really dislike Jamaica. But I still think it's a good album. I'm going to say I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
No, you
I
rank the
think
Rolling Stones now higher than Houses of the Holy.
I think it's still a good album.
Wow.
I prefer, even though I gave it the same rating as the album cut of Led Zeppelin 3, I think the 9 songs in 3, aside from Roy Harper, is a much stronger album than Houses of the Holy as a whole. But there's still some really good stuff on this album, and even though I don't think it's as good as some of their other albums, I think there's still some great stuff on it that really makes it worth a listen.
Okay, I'll give my score. I think it's a perfect album. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Despite thinking the Ocean's probably an okay song, I still think the strength of the other 7 songs, especially the songs that are in my top 5, are just, to me, it's just Led Zeppelin, like, in their peak. Like these top 5 songs and the songs that are on the next album, to me, is just like, I don't know, I just felt like Led Zeppelin were just like, they were like at their like peak. They were making just perfect music. They were at their awesomeness. Like if Led Zeppelin made like 3 or 4 more albums like these 2 albums, I feel like they would be my favorite band of all time. But I feel like they only really got their creativity on these 2 albums. But I still think they're one of the best bands ever. But if they would have made albums like this, like House of the Holy and Physical Graffiti, I would even bump them up over the Who. That's how great these 2 albums are. But it's just, to me, there are some albums that I feel like it's just okay. Like, I know everyone loves 4. I think it's an okay album. Presence is also just an okay album.
Oh yeah, no, that one is.
Led Zeppelin 1 and 2 are a little bit more on the simplistic side, which kind of hurts it for me. I think they're great albums, but to me, like when people tell me Who versus Led Zeppelin, I will always say the Who.
Okay, so I'm probably the only person here who like this is their favorite Led Zeppelin album, and I'm gonna give it the big double-digit number. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. I like all 8 of these songs, and at least half the album would probably be in my top 10 Led Zeppelin songs.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to think very hard about what my top 10 Led Zeppelin songs are because there's too many good ones to.
Aren't we gonna do a top 10 at the end of the series? Kind of like what I do.
Yes, but
It's a good idea.
we're just gonna like. I think we should just like list it off rather than spend a lot of time talking about
Oh
it.
yeah, I know that, but like, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, the last episode I want to do is ranking the albums and top 10 songs.
Mhm.
Okay.
But yeah, 10 out of 10. This is my favorite Led Zeppelin album,
Yes.
and I don't give 10s very often.
I know. Yeah. Did you give Led Zeppelin? What did you give Led Zeppelin for? Did you give it 10?
Yeah, that got a 10 too.
Wow,
they
so
got
two in a row.
2. I don't know if
Wow.
they're gonna get another 10, but they'll get pretty close, at least with the next
That's
album.
pretty big, yeah.
Oh yeah. Before Tyler says anything,
Oh, okay.
10 out of
That's a
10.
score, 10 out of 10.
All right, I guess I'll go with mine. Yeah, when I first listened to this album, when we did our album ranking, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10 at the time. And then Scott bought me this album that I have over here. Very generous. And so I remember I was listening to this album on my record player, and obviously like my top 3 are like some of the best Led Zeppelin. I think some of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs ever. So obviously those are going to be high up. I'm like, okay, I really love this. And what really kind of hit me was when I got to Dancing Days and like the Rain song, and I was like, wait a minute, these are really good. Like I forgot about these songs. And after listening to it, I was like, I got to bump this score up. So I'm bumping up to a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Right. Sweet. Yeah, for me, I'm gonna go a little bit higher than Jason. I'm gonna go a 9.25. So
That's good.
yeah, yes. I know.
You beat me again. No, that's good.
I know. Let's keep the train going. Anyhow, but yeah, this has always been a favorite, one of my favorites by them. I think as of now, like we haven't gone to the other albums yet, but as of now, this is probably my second favorite Led Zeppelin album.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of good variety on here. Again, we've talked about it. There's so many unexpected turns this one goes, and it definitely keeps you on your toes, which I enjoy. I've always enjoyed albums that always change things up. It doesn't stay the same thing the whole time. It's always like mixing things up, keeping things fresh, and that's what I enjoy about this one. But yeah, 9.25 for me.
So I'm so looking forward to next video because we'll be talking about in my opinion, the greatest Led Zeppelin album ever. That's Physical Graffiti. That just every song on it's great to me, and it's so much variety. It's like I know that's gonna be an album review that me and Jason are definitely gonna be the most of High Savant.
I was gonna say, I think we're gonna be very divisive on that album.
Yeah, because there's gonna be a lot of bluesy songs. Some of it,
long
some of it-
bluesy songs. In My Time of Dying, cough.
And it's so long, that album, because it's a double album. Yeah.
To me, if you ask me which one's better, Physical Graffiti or the White Album, I'd be like, no competition, Physical Graffiti.
Yeah.
With an album that has Revolution 9 on it, to me, that makes it an easy choice.
I like most of the songs on there, but we'll save those opinion for that album.
Yeah.
And there's the windows. Okay.
And you got
I'm not liking that easy. Butter.
Bob Dylan ripoff. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. We will see you on the next episode, Physical Graffiti, which may or may not be a 2-part episode. We're just gonna have to see how the video turns out. But thank you guys for watching a very divisive episode. It was really fun making it. Remember, music is art, and art is expression. See you guys.